Coming up on the NBA Rundown, we are going to talk about the Stephen A. Smith versus Kevin Durant clown controversy. Now, in case you missed it, over the weekend, Kevin Durant came out and called Stephen A. Smith a clown. As you might anticipate, Stephen A. Smith responded today, actually saying he wasn't a clown. You cannot write this. I am telling you. I'm going to play the Stephen A. Smith response for you here in just a second. But before I do that, I do want to point out one thing, and that is that KD is currently averaging 25.8 points a game in the NBA, and he's been in the league forever. Stephen A. Smith is averaging 0 points right now and has never played a single minute in the National Basketball Association. To the Stephen A. Smith video we go.
I'm a clown? That why your team called me to be a part of your documentary? That's why y'all called me? Because I was a clown? It's your company. You run the show. You executive produced it. How come y'all called me? When you had the boardroom and you were sitting down to interview people one-on-one, didn't you call me to do that interview? By the way, didn't you show up on First Take? Sitting right across from me? A clown. Kevin Durant. Can anybody talk about you? I just need to know. I just need clarity. After departing from Oklahoma City, sitting across from me, you said you wanted to play a better brand of basketball. Well, then what was the excuse for leaving to go to Brooklyn? Everybody thinks it's just about Kyrie. It was about Kenny Atkinson being there. It was about you signing off on Steve Nash being the head coach when he had no experience on any level to be a head coach. It was about you making sure that Brooklyn embraced Kyrie because Brooklyn didn't want Kyrie, they wanted you, and you made it clear they were not getting you unless Kyrie arrived. You figure out how I know that. And that was after you told the Knicks you were coming. And then at the 11th hour, you got convinced to roll over to Brooklyn, which might be one of the worst business moves, Mr. 35 Ventures, that we have seen from a basketball superstar in a modern day era. Because when we think about business, the number one name that comes to it when we think about basketball and business is LeBron James.
Okay, so that was Stephen A. Smith's response, and I have to say it was highly entertaining. Look, if you are new to the NBA Rundown, please go and subscribe, and of course, like this video. I do want to talk a little bit about the controversy because it's sort of a he said controversy, but at the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith makes some really valid points about Kevin Durant, and I have to say, KD also makes some very good points about Stephen A. Smith in his particular criticisms of one Stephen A. Smith. Now, at the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith is doing what he's supposed to be doing. It is his job to create controversy where there is no controversy. And we all know that KD can't walk away. If you will, it's as if KD walks by a dog in the window and he has to stop and adopt that dog in the window. He can't help himself. At least we've gotten to the point with KD at this point where, as far as we know, he's not using an actual burner account. Now, in terms of the Phoenix Suns this particular year, I thought it was important to note just how good of a start this particular team has actually gotten off to. They are currently 5-1, and they're playing tonight. The game hasn't started yet. It's about to tip off. They are home against the Philadelphia 76ers. Rumor on the street is we will see Paul George actually play. I'm sure we won't see Joel Embiid tonight. That being said, I'd be very surprised if the Philadelphia 76ers actually beat Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns tonight in Phoenix. The new head coach, Mike Budenholzer, as we all know, did a fantastic job in the past with the Milwaukee Bucks. We've seen just how bad the Milwaukee Bucks have become. We've seen how good, at least in a very short period of time, with him as the head coach of this Phoenix Suns team, how well they've actually played. I always say this in sports, and I'll reiterate it again tonight, which is coaching absolutely matters. If you take a look at the National Football League and just how bad the Chicago Bears have played over the last couple weeks, you can't help but think it's a coaching issue. Look, in the National Basketball Association, once again, the Milwaukee Bucks ended up losing tonight. They have just one win. They should actually win on Thursday night when they actually get to play host to a basketball team called the Utah Jazz. Look, if there was relegation in the National Basketball Association, the Jazz would be the first team kicked out of the association. Now, in terms of this overall Phoenix Suns roster, we know just how good Devin Booker is, and we know how good the other pieces are. And of course, Bradley Beal, when healthy, is a fantastic player as well. This Phoenix Suns team is definitely better on paper than they were a year ago at this time. However, I would contest that the big difference now is the coaching staff that the Phoenix Suns organization has actually put together. All right, I hope I'm not going to be wrong tonight, but I absolutely have the Suns taking down the 76ers. All right, go ahead and tell me what your thoughts are. Please go ahead and drop your comment in for the NBA Rundown. I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
This is Phoenix.